Thank you all for waiting. We will now begin session 1, Safe and Secure Cities 1, Building Resilient Cities. Our moderator will be Ms. Mami Mizutori, former Special Representative of the United Nations Secretary General for Disaster Reduction and head of the United Nations Office for Disaster Risk Reductions. The speakers of this session are Governor of Tokyo, Ms. Koike Yuriko. Governing Mayor of Berlin, Mr. Kai Wegner. President of Nouakchott Region, Ms. Fatimata Abdel Malik. Mayor of Taipei, Mr. Chang Wang-an. And Governor of the capital city and Mayor of Ulaanbaatar, Mr. Nyambatar Kishki. Please.
So, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us at this first session. We had a wonderful segue to this session this morning by the governor's eloquent speech about resilience in this city. And we also had 3 keynote speeches. And I believe that what was in common was that they were all talking about the challenges that we are facing, multiple ones, disasters, pandemic, etc., combined with our vulnerabilities. But also, what was common in those eloquent speeches was the fact that the city leaders are at the forefront. And at this session, we are going to actually listen to what are the solutions that the city leaders are taking. And we can, as also mentioned, learn from each other. So without further ado, I would like to ask our gracious and generous host of this meeting, Governor of Tokyo, Ms. Koike Yuriko, for her presentation. The floor is yours, Governor.
Thank you, Ms. Nori-san, for introduction. And since I'm an icebreaker, so I would like to start what's happening in Tokyo and what we are going to prepare for the rainy days. Now, I'm Koike Yuriko, Governor of Tokyo. And today, I will introduce the Tokyo metropolitan government's measures related to safety and security, which serve as the foundation for urban activities. First, I would like to extend my sympathies to all of the victims affected by the many recent natural disasters that have been occurring across the world. Since the February last, we had this conference, but only in a year, we had witnessed so many disasters. It's really horrible. And natural disasters are a universal threat. And recently, large-scale damage has been observed due to flooding in areas such as, Dubai. I was really surprised that Dubai is covered by water, not sand. Really, I was really surprised and sorry for that. And also in Nairobi, there was a flooding. And also in southern Brazil, it's a huge flooding. It's unthinkable. And also, while last month, multiple volcanic eruptions in Indonesia and Iceland, and so many different type of disasters. With regard to earthquakes, Taiwan, yes, was hit by magnitude 7.5, which was really very hard, yes, earthquake on April 3rd. And as for Japan, a major earthquake struck in Ishikawa area prefecture at the start of this year. It was January 1st. We were celebrating the very first day of New Year, but earthquake has no calendar. They don't care. That's the very, celebrating day or not. So disasters are frequently occurring in all corners of the world, and each time many victims are left with no choice but to live as evacuees. Tokyo is a megacity home to 14 million residents, and it is our duty as the Tokyo Metropolitan Government firmly protect the lives and livelihoods of our citizens from natural disasters, including earthquake, floods, and storms. Under the Tokyo's Resilience Project, which we launched in December 22, we are vigorously promoting both hard and soft disaster preparedness measures. Of the measures encompassed by the project, today I will focus on our preparations for floods and storms. Now, climate change is causing floods and storms to become increasingly frequent and severe. And this is not limited to Tokyo, and it is an issue affecting cities around the world. And there is not a moment to lose in responding to this crisis. In recent years, Tokyo has seen greater instances of heavy rainfalls. It's unprecedented rainfall. It's really unthinkable. And projections show that if average, the temperature rise by 2 degrees Celsius, Tokyo will experience a 10% increase in rainfall. Not only that, the sea level would also be expected to rise by as much as around 60 centimeters by the year 200. In light of these climate trends, we are enhancing our measures against floods and storms through the project. This is under tunnel project, and through the Tokyo Resilience Project, to reduce the flooding caused by torrential rains. We have been promoting the construction of underground reservoirs which collect and store a portion of floodwater beneath roads and parks to help prevent rivers from overflowing. Actually, this will be a very good sightseeing spot if you would like to visit. And this picture shows a 5.4 kilometer long tunnel-shaped regulating reservoir that is currently being constructed 30 to 40 meters underground. We plan to link this tunnel to existing reservoirs, which will result in the large underground regulating reservoir in all of Japan. And stretching 13.1 kilometers in length with a total storage capacity of 1.43 million cubic meters. To further adapt to climate change, moving forward, we will begin preparations to construct underground diversion channels to connect these reservoirs and tunnel to the sea. As a measure against storm surges, we will raise the height of seawalls. As you see, these are the seawalls, and along Tokyo Bay in stages to adapt rising sea levels. At the same time, we will optimize the effectiveness of hard infrastructure through the use of digital technologies such as an AI-powered water level prediction system to support the operation of floodgates. Through the Tokyo Resilience Project, we will work to strengthen a wide range of both hard and soft measures, addressing 5 risks covering not only floods and storms, but also earthquakes, volcanic eruptions. We have Mount Fuji for your information, power and communications outages, and infectious diseases. we have just suffered for many years recently, as you know. Finally, I would like to show a 30-second video outlining the project, including the measures I have talked about today. Like all of your cities, Tokyo has continued to evolve through the culmination of generations of hard work. We will steadily advance the Tokyo Resilience Project to further enhance the safe and secure city entrusted to us by our predecessors and pass it down to future generations. Through sharing insights about pioneering initiatives and leveraging connections cultivated at this conference, let's together work forge a resilient, sustainable future. Now, please have a look of this project, the contents of the project.
As climate change accelerates from increasingly severe storm and flood damage, protecting people's lives and livelihood toward the realization of a resilient and sustainable city, the Tokyo Metropolitan Government has embarked on a project. In addition, against earthquakes and other natural disasters, accelerate preparedness, aiming for safety for the next 100 years. Tokyo Resilience Project.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governor Koike. We feel very safe now here in Tokyo with all that we have learned from you. So now I would like to give the floor to the governing mayor of Berlin, Mr. Wegener. Mr. Wegener, the floor is yours.
Liebe Frau Koike, sehr geehrte Kolleginnen und Kollegen, meine Damen und Herren, erstmal freue ich mich wirklich sehr über die Einladung und darüber, mit Ihnen heute über nachhaltige Sicherheit und Resilienz für unsere Städte sprechen zu können. Gerade in Zeiten von Krisen, von Kriegen bekommt das Thema Sicherheit auch in unseren Städten eine ganz neue Rolle.
Governor Koike, colleagues, and ladies and gentlemen, it is a great pleasure to be here today. Thank you very much for inviting me. And we are talking about sustainable security of city. I'm happy to discuss this, especially at a time like this, because crisis and various conflicts are occurring all over the world. Security is extremely important challenge for Berlin.
Die Gründe dafür liegen auf der Hand und sind, glaube ich, in den Metropolen dieser Welt sehr, sehr vergleichbar. Das ist erstens das Thema Klimawandel, die unsere Städte gerade mit dichter Bebauung schon heute besonders betreffen. Das ist zweitens die Folgen globaler Katastrophen, wie ja zum Beispiel die Corona-Pandemie. Und drittens natürlich jetzt auch die Vorbereitung unserer Bevölkerung vor militärischer Bedrohung. Gerade wir in Berlin wissen das, der brutale Angriffskrieg von Putin auf die Ukraine ist gerade mal 700 Kilometer von Berlin entfernt.
Why, at a time like this, security is this important? There are a number of reasons. I would like to cite the reasons. First is climate change, impact of the climate change. Especially in Berlin, there is a densely built cities. And also the second reason is with dealing with the emergencies such as pandemic globally. And the third reason is military threat. We are seeing increased military threat. And for the citizens, we have to be prepared. President Putin's aggression to Ukraine is occurring. Therefore, we are threatened by this. From Berlin and to the border of Ukraine is only 700 kilometers.
Und genau deshalb investiert Berlin verstärkt in Zivil- und Katastrophenschutz, in die Resilienz unserer Stadt. Und das muss jetzt wieder höchste Priorität bekommen, denn ehrlicherweise nach dem Mauerfall, nach der Wiedervereinigung Deutschlands, haben wir länger auf die sogenannte Friedensdividende gesetzt. Investitionen in Verteidigung und Katastrophenschutz blieben aus oder wurden auf ein Minimum reduziert, weil wir uns in Europa sicher fühlten, aber das hat sich verändert.
we will be making investment for protecting people and for measures against disasters, because there's a priority, topmost priority. We have to address these issues. In Germany, after the fall of the Berlin Wall and reunification of Germany, we believe that we have enjoyed the peace dividend for a long time. In other words, military and the disaster response investment was kept at a minimum. However, now in Europe, we have been living safely up until now.
Warum sich auch Berlin, aber ehrlicherweise Deutschland auch insgesamt sich in den Bereichen Sicherheit, aber auch der Verteidigung schnell modernisieren und besser aufstellen muss. Wir in Berlin arbeiten sehr konkret an einigen Maßnahmen, darunter zum Beispiel, dass wir mehr Einfluss auch auf die kritische Infrastruktur als Stadt haben wollen. Wir wollen die Betreiber der kritischen Infrastruktur besser miteinander vernetzen. Katastrophenschutzbehörden, Hilfsorganisationen, ja, und die Betreiber von netzgebundener Infrastruktur, wie zum Beispiel Stromversorger, sollen künftig im Krisenfall in Echtzeit auf speziellen Plattformen lage- und strukturrelevante Daten austauschen können.
We have been taking various measures. There are reasons that we have to take measures. As I mentioned, in Berlin and Germany, we must quickly modernize and reorganize our safety, security, and defense efforts. And in Berlin, we have taken a number of measures. For example, critical infrastructure. Impact upon critical infrastructure has to be minimized. And we are developing infrastructure and also networking the operator of critical information infrastructure and authorities and relief organizations and infrastructure operators such as power companies need to be networked.
Wir arbeiten an Katastrophenschutzleuchttürmen. Wir wollen die Informationssysteme ausweiten. Wir werden allein in Berlin 450 Sirenen neu installieren, die die Berlinerinnen und Berliner im Katastrophenfall warnen sollen. Und Sie sehen, dass sich Berlin ja vorbereitet mit einer besseren besseren Ausrüstung, mit neuen Kommunikationskonzepten für den Ernstfall. Ich glaube aber, dass alles Entscheidende ist, und das macht Tokio, Frau Gouverneurin, sehr gut vor. Wir müssen auf die neuen Herausforderungen unserer Zeit gemeinsam Antworten finden. Wir müssen hier auf Wissenschaft, Forschung, Technologie, auf neue Ideen setzen, die gut vernetzen. Und wenn wir dann die Städte gut vernetzen und das zusammen machen, dann glaube ich, werden wir die Herausforderungen unserer Zeit lösen und unsere Städte resilienter, aber vor allen Dingen auch sicherer machen. Vielen Dank.
Also, specific measures that we are taking in Berlin. The Center to Respond to Emergency was established, and also Information Center was established, and 450 sirens for warning are established. If emergency occurs, if there is any problem, then we quickly provide the information. So Berlin is taking various measures, and we are making steadfast preparations. In Tokyo, we have learned from Governor Koike the measures taken by Tokyo. And Tokyo is a wonderful model for us, and we'd like to learn from Tokyo more than anything else. At a time like this, new challenges are there. So we have to jointly resolve new challenges, and we have to find solutions to these issues. The academia, research laboratories, and new technologies. We have to combine all these together and take measures, and the exchange of the cities have to be enhanced. And together, we have to address the challenges. And we should take measures and be prepared. And we'd like to look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Governing Mayor Wagner. Indeed, conflicts and wars are now becoming, unfortunately, part of the landscape of our risk, and in there, your partnership we have learned is very extensive. So now I would like to give the floor to the next speaker, the President of the Regional Council from Nouakchott, Mauritania, Ms. Abdel Malik. You have the floor, Madam.
Merci beaucoup. Alors, moi, je vais d'abord.
Thank you very much. Let me express first my deep appreciation to Governor Koike hosting this important program today. I am from Nouakchott. I'm a president of Nouakchott region. This is very close to the sea, but this is a very vulnerable city as well. Faced with the climate change, we have taken some initiatives. There are several challenges as well. For example, desertification. We are planting trees as part of the measures that we take. We also have many problems concerning water. There is a scarcity of water. Underground water is available only 60 meters from the underground, and the nearest the water reservoir is 240 kilometers away. Agriculture, therefore, in and surrounding the city is very difficult. In Mauritania, droughts hit us several times. That drives many people moving to move to cities. In the suburban areas where many people migrate into, we need to provide water and other social infrastructures, which, however, are not well prepared. To address these issues, we need to take many measures. And in deserts, there are sandstorms, and to answer this, we plant trees. But in the surrounding areas near the city, we try to bring water, supported and funded by France and Spain, and agriculture near the urban area would, we hope, generate jobs for young people and other people who don't have jobs. And that is this particular project is supported by Spain and the city of Paris. In Lausanne, there is the Polytechnic, which also supports this project, particularly in the process of identifying the species that are appropriate to be planted in Nouakchott. We also install sensors to collect data and for analysis. And in the surrounding areas, we also install solar panels for local residents. And we also install lighting systems to use such the renewable energy. Solar, we
have been encouraging local people to use more solar power. In our region, we also encourage providing water supply to disadvantaged people. And in such communities, sea level rise is another issue because these disadvantaged areas are faced on the coastal areas. They are really vulnerable to the sea level rise. So we try to install warning systems. And there are so many problems we cannot cover, but thank you very much indeed.
Have learned from what you have presented the difficulty, the challenges of combining the vulnerability that comes from poverty, how to develop your country, but at the same time making your people resilient. I think you have given us very good examples around that. Thank you very much, Madam. And now I would like to turn to the Mayor of Taipei, Mayor Chung. The floor is yours.
Governor Koike, all city leaders, and ladies and gentlemen. As Mayor of Taipei, I'm so thrilled to be here today to talk about the theme of building a safe city through innovation. Last month, on April 3rd, Taiwan experienced a massive earthquake, measured magnitude of 7.2. And as you can see, it caused a huge devastation with 18 fatalities and over 1,100 injuries. So now, I want to take you on a journey through Taipei's response to this crisis. So imagine putting on your safety helmet. I actually bring the safety helmet. And putting on the vests. So as we all dive into the decision-making process all together. So when the earthquake struck at 7:58 a.m. during rush hour, I couldn't immediately access the Emergency Operations Center, the EOC. But we didn't waste any time. Taipei operates on the principle of where there's the mayor, there is the EOC. Therefore, within 5 minutes, we all were mobilized. So in addition, thanks to this disaster response collaboration cloud platform, we can instantly connect all relevant units and monitor all situations across Taipei. As you can see on the screen, a real-time updates pinpointing exact locations of incidents, categorized different status, resolved, unresolved, or critical. So this system is not just about earthquakes. It can actually handle other disasters. For example, floods, typhoons, or power outage. So as mayor, time-saving and accurate information are crucial for making critical decisions. I have to say, let me tell you, being mayor is hectic. But, you know, anything that buys us more time for thoughtful decision-making is invaluable. Therefore, Taipei, our disaster preparedness, is not just about online connectivity. It is actually about empowering decision makers to delegate tasks efficiently. So, for instance, on that day, because of the automated and intelligent division of tasks, most of the problem issues can be solved by the entire team. But as the mayor, I focused on 3 things. First, intervene early to prevent disasters from escalating. Second, identify the most severe place that requires more resources allocation. Third, plan a recovery roadmap that align with the long-term urban strategies. So on April 3rd, we've quickly identified a residential building that was damaged severely with the threat of collapse. So we immediately set up an on-site command center with all relevant agencies on standby. And after experts confirmed that the buildings are with immediate threat of collapse, then we evacuated all the residents to nearby hotels and make it just as a precaution. Then we swiftly, implemented some temporary safety measures before allowing residents to return home safely. So this incident underscores a common challenge that we all are facing, that is aging infrastructure. Earthquakes strike without warning. And let me tell you, over 72% of the buildings in Taipei are over 30 years old. So urban renewal is so essential for enhancing resilience. So since last year, I have implemented 8 urban renewal policies, including incentives for green, smart, seismic, and accessible buildings design. So we hope these initiatives can encourage more public participation in urban renewal, paving the way for Taipei to achieve our dual goals of net zero emission by 2050 and building a safer city with innovation. So last, all city leaders, let's all contribute to the sustainable development of our cities, ensuring our citizens to live and work in safety and happiness. So thank you all for listening, and please come to Taipei, because we try to build Taipei an AI-driven smart city. AI is in Taipei, T-A-I-P-E-I. Welcome. Thank you so much, and have a great day.
Thank you very much, Mayor Chang. And once again, condolences for all the people who lost their lives and people affected in your country by the recent earthquake. However, from your presentation, it is clear that Taiwan has done so much for preparing for this kind of hazard, which cannot be predicted. And in that sense, I think we can all congratulate you and your country. So last but not least, I would like to give the floor to the mayor of Ulaanbaatar, Mayor Bata. The floor is yours, sir.
Hello, everybody. I will give my speech in Mongolian. Tokyo.
So, Madam, Her Excellency Mayor of Tokyo, Mrs. Yuriko Koike, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, representatives. First of all, I would like to extend my heartfelt gratitude to Mayor Yuriko Koike and the organizers for inviting me to participate in this crucial discussion on Safe City at Cities Tokyo Mayor's meeting. So, this discussion on Safe City is both timely and critical as we seek to mitigate the risks posed by global climate change. It provides a platform to explore solutions for preventing such disasters and ensuring the safety and resilience of our urban areas and sharing valuable experiences. So the primary driver of climate change is the release of GHG from human activities, which has increased the average global surface temperature by 1.1 degrees Celsius over the past 170 years. Remarkably, the 2023 was the hottest year in the last 100,000 years. Since the 2015 Paris Agreement, atmospheric carbon dioxide levels have risen by 30%, and the methane levels have nearly increased by 40%. And climate change has led to severe temperature increases in Europe, wildfires in North Africa, and escalating droughts, floods in Asia and Africa. So these events occurring with greater frequency and intensity have caused significant financial losses, estimated over of 500 billion US dollars. Typically, tragically, hundreds of thousands of people have lost their lives, health, and property. And at the COP28 summit held in Dubai last year, December, nearly 200 countries agreed to transition from fossil fuels to clean energy sources, but gradually. And despite the global efforts to reduce GHG emissions and limit global warming to 1.5 degrees Celsius under the Paris Agreement, the adverse effects of climate change continue to intensify, and the countries are taking some measures to counter this impeding future. Today, more than half of the world's population, 60%, live in urban areas, but the figure is expected to rise to 70% by 2050, though. Over the past 30 years, urban land areas has doubled, and it is projected to double again by 2050. And also the cities are the engines of economy in most countries, and the cities, although covering only 3% of the land area, drive and it is a concentration of economy and society and culture, therefore it produces 80% of the GDP of the global economy and consumes 60 to 80% of the energy and generates 75% of the GHG emissions. So Mongolia, due to its geographical location and harsh climate, is among the top 10 countries that are most vulnerable to climate change. For example, snowfall in 2023 was 9.6 millimeters, and 1.56 times average the previous years, and leading to severe winter with 90% of the land covered by snow and temperatures dropping to 49 Celsius degrees. And so you can see from the pictures here, right? And what we call this, so this harsh winter actually led people to, move out of their rural areas and move into the Ulaanbaatar city. And although Mongolia's GHG emissions account for only 0.1% of the global total, we are committed to dedicating at least 1% of our GDP annually to combat climate change and desertification through this 1 billion tree campaign. And then also we have established this a foundation where we are this loss and damage fund, and we are so this way we will be able to prepare ourselves financially at this. And so would like to thank the Tokyo mayor and her team, because we recognize that based on your speech we need to learn quite a lot, including the initiatives on the tunneling for the flooding, etc. And so I would like to encourage everyone to act and think like one family as cities. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mayor. In my previous role at the United Nations, Mongolia was one of the first countries that I visited, and I was always very impressed with how inclusive and comprehensive the disaster risk reduction policies were. So now we have heard from all of our 5 presentators, and I think we now already have a wealth of information, but I would like to ask a question to each one of you based on your presentation. So first, Governor Koike, we heard from you about your policies around combating storm and flood, but of course, when we think about Japan, Tokyo, earthquakes come into our mind. So please, can you enlighten us about your leadership in this area, please?
Well, before talking about our resilience project, I was very inspired word that the mayor of Ulaanbaatar mentioned in the very last sentence. We are the family, and we are sharing our experience and hardships. And as a family, we can share how to tackle those disasters. And this is why we are here. And thank you very much for all of the panelists for telling us what's happening in each region. And talking about the earthquake, thank you very much, Ms. Shima-san, for asking me about the earthquake. And Taiwan's case is really one of the models, because the hardware and hard infrastructure and soft soft management combining each other. And I really admire what you have done for after the earthquake happened in this April. So we are learning each other and helping each other whenever the earthquake happens in Taiwan and Japan. And Tokyo metropolitan government has been advancing urban development to enhance seismic resilience, and such as improving the seismic and fire resistance of buildings. And our efforts over the past 10 years have reduced projected casualties and property damage from a major earthquake by 30 to 40%. However, overall damage is still expected to be severe. So to protect the lives and livelihoods of Tokyo citizens, we have updated a plan that serves as compass to guide efforts for advancing disaster preparedness measures. And we have established a new goal of reducing projected casualties and property damage from a major earthquake striking Tokyo by about half by fiscal year 2030. As one specific measure to further promote self-support and mutual support in times of disaster, we have updated and distributed to all Tokyo household 2 handbooks. I should have brought the handbooks that encourage residents to prepare for disasters. Disaster Preparedness Tokyo and Disaster Readiness Guide. Additionally, around 2 in every 3 Tokyo residents, or approximately 9 million people. 9 million is almost the equivalent, almost the same population of the Austria. So it's huge. And 9 million people live in condominiums and other multi-family residences. Strengthening the disaster resilience of such buildings is a pressing issue. And we will offer support for installing emergency power systems for elevators and water pumps so that residents can shelter in place with peace of mind. We will also encourage joint disaster preparedness drills with residents of multi-family buildings and neighborhood and residents associations to further strengthen mutual support in the community. So under the motto of always be prepared, I was Girl Scout, and Girl Scouts' motto is always, be prepared. So this can be said for every field. So let us be prepared for any disaster, any calamity, to secure people, to secure citizens. So always be prepared, and we will work to realize a resilient, sustainable city where people can live with peace of mind for the next 100 years. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. I think the last part of your response, we have to think about 100 years, not only about tomorrow, even next year, but 100 years in the face of calamities. I do believe that is very important. So the question that I would like to ask to the governing mayor of Berlin, you talked a lot about the importance of networking, partnership, and mentioned about academia, etc. How does the private sector work in Berlin to build the resilience of your city?
Ich glaube, das müssen wir auch wieder in ganz, ganz enger Partnerschaft machen. Wir spüren ja das Thema Klimawandel ganz aktiv auch in Berlin und in Deutschland und deswegen müssen wir hier Antworten geben.
Well, companies and industry, cooperation and partnership with them, it needs to be strengthened. There are a number of reasons. For example, impact of climate change, not only in Berlin, but this is something that we feel in Germany.
Natürlich eine Wärmewende, eine Energiewende, die dafür sorgt, dass wir eine Versorgungssicherheit im Bereich der Energie haben, aber letztlich auch eine Bezahlbarkeit für die Verbraucherinnen und Verbraucher, für die Wirtschaft. Aber am Ende des Tages geht es darum, wirklich auf regenerative Energien umzusteigen. Berlin will spätestens 2045 die Klimaziele erreichen, spätestens.
Various cooperative relationships need to be strengthened. For example, in Germany, heat is needed, so the shift of heat, new measures are needed. And the affordable energy and energy security can be secured. To that end, renewable energy needs to be expanded further. In this context, Berlin, by 2045 at the latest, we have the target to become carbon neutral.
Vorteil, wir haben wirklich sehr viel grüne Oasen, grüne Flächen, Wälder, die wichtig sind gegen die Erwärmung auch in den Städten. Die müssen wir erhalten, die müssen wir ehrlicherweise teilweise auch wieder ausbauen. Sie sind in einem sehr gestressten Zustand, da müssen wir darauf achten. Das ist Punkt 1. Und Punkt 2, den ich ansprechen möchte, neben ganz vielen weiteren Punkten, das ist das Thema Gebäude. Die Gebäude stoßen, wie auch in anderen Städten, einen ganz großen Anteil an CO2 aus. Und hier wollen wir zu neuen Formen kommen. Hier haben wir auch in Tokio ganz konkret Gesprächstermine mit privaten Unternehmen. Wie können wir den Gebäudebestand klimaneutraler gestalten? Hier gibt es tolle Ideen, auch und gerade von den Privaten, von der Wissenschaft, von der Forschung. Und das zusammenzubringen, ich glaube, das kann wirklich etwas bringen, um den Klimawandel deutlicher entgegenzutreten.
In this context, Berlin has advantages because we have large areas, green areas. We call this green oasis. Not only maintaining green oasis, but we need to further expand the green areas. The green areas are becoming weakened, so we need to maintain and expand green areas. Another thing that we have to do is in the field of building, CO2 emission. Building is a large portion of CO2 emission source. Therefore, in buildings, new type of measures are needed. Here, companies and R&D research laboratories, we should be collaborating with them to come up with new ideas, especially in order to reduce CO2 emission from the existing buildings. On this topic, we appreciate a cooperative relationship with the Metropolitan Government of Tokyo.
For your concrete examples on how public-private partnership is moving forward in Berlin. Now, Madame Abdel Malik, I know that you have a very important role in the UN, United Nations, that you are a member of the Secretary General's advisory panel for resilience and coming from the cities. Do you think, Madame, that the role and importance of cities in the United Nations is growing.
Yes, of course. At the United Nations these days, an advisory panel was established. This is related to SDGs. And in September in New York, a summit meeting will be scheduled. Roles of local governments, the importance of the roles of local governments is clear because we local governments are the ones which connect with the local residents. City authorities provide services, and they develop plans, implement them, and monitor them. That's why local governments play very important roles. In our city, we are expanding very fast horizontally. My city, my town, that is, it's not developing vertically, it's developing, expanding horizontally. The COVID was another very important challenging issue that we faced. During such catastrophes, what action we should take and we can take, that always have to be in our mind. Exchange of views amongst the cities, towns, like this is very important, and the roles of local governments are very important.
So, Chang, my question to you is about the infrastructure. You mentioned that aging infrastructure is a big challenge for your city and for many developed countries. In this aspect, rules and regulations, legislation is very important. What can you share with us in terms of that aspect in Taipei, in Taiwan, rules, regulations that is encouraging the resilience of buildings, infrastructure, and basic services to the people?
Okay, thank you for your question. First of all, I would like to share a number to all you guys. One, I just mentioned that there are over 70% of buildings in Taipei are over 30 years old. And the earthquake last month happened in Taiwan that occurred in the eastern part of Taiwan. But there's a statistics showing that if there were an earthquake happened in Taipei, measured magnitude of 6.2, then there will be 4,900 buildings collapsed. That's something that we cannot suffer from that disaster. So that's why urban renewal is something that we have to do it now. So since last year, I have implemented 8 urban renewal policies. And I think there are 3 major things now we have to do in Taipei, because all the mayors of Taipei saying we want to do urban renewal, but that's, they were facing buildings maybe, 15 years old, 20 years old, but now I'm facing the buildings, most of them like 40 or 50 years old. So one is to accelerate the process to overcome all the obstacles or rules and regulations in the bureaucracy. Second, more public-private partnership that we all mentioned. So it cannot rely on just government. We have to work with the private sectors to accelerate the urban renewal process. And third, we have to change the mindset, because earlier, people may think, oh, we want to have a better living environment, a beautiful view of the city. But now, the problem is we're facing extreme weathers, climate change, and earthquakes. So that's something, all citizens have to understand. That's not just about a more comfortable living area or environment. It's about disaster is coming without any notice. So we try to change the mindset of citizens to encourage more public participation in the urban renewal. So we would love to learn from each other and share our experiences with all the cities to deal with or tackle with all the issues, problems from the disasters. So that's something we're working on, and we will do our best.
Thank you very much. So going from there, my question to you, Mayor Nyambata, and thank you very much for your patience. You mentioned that you have a loss and damage fund, which means that you put money into preparedness and prevention. But in order to do that, you need your people to understand the importance of prevention and preparedness. And I imagine that you do a lot of advocacy and education, like the mayor of Taipei just mentioned to us. Can you tell us some of the ways that you educate your people to understand importance of preparedness and putting finance into it?
Thank you very much. In Ulaanbaatar City, we do this an earthquake seismic drill. So we are starting to do it from this year. So in the previous years, we didn't do it annually, but starting from this year, we are going to do this drill involving citizens every year, and so it's a preparedness drill under the earthquake scenario. And so second is that in 1954, when Ulaanbaatar City was planned, it was all based on a centralized heating system, water supply system, and sewage system. But today, in modern day, especially in the face of a growing frequency of disasters, and also the impeding climate change, we need to organize ourselves differently. We need to, instead of centralized system, we are trying to have a more distributed system. There's a central water, heating, and sewage systems. So as for myself, it's been my 7th month since I was appointed as a mayor, and so throughout the 7 months, we've been making major bold moves to change the regulatory framework. For example, we have amended the law to embed various funds, including the infrastructure fund for investment, and also this loss and damage fund for the disaster. And so through this loss and damage fund, we will be able to support the victims better, who are mostly forgotten. And so I think you and the previous speakers have pointed out the public and private partnership. I can't emphasize this enough. So while we're sitting here, Mongolian Parliament is actually right now deliberating on this amendment to the private-public partnership law, under which they are going to give the more authority, full authority for the municipality to decide on the public-private investment projects. So for disaster resilience and for any other types of infrastructure, investment, we would like to take over the public-private investment functions fully from the central government. Thank you.
Very much, Mayor. Now, I believe that given the importance of this theme, we can keep on talking about this forever, but sadly, the end of this session has come. For me, simply two takeaways. One is that we are all coming from so many different geographical places, different levels of development. However, the challenges are very common. And that is what is, in a way, positive, but shows us that wherever you are, and as the Governor Koike mentioned, no matter where you are in the world, disasters will follow you. So we need to be prepared and we need to prevent better. The second thing is that this issue about safety and security is not an isolated, siloed issue. It is very well connected with the themes of the other sessions of today, of environment, of inclusivity. So I believe that sometimes the central governments are too siloed. They can fail in bringing together the themes, but I believe that the cities, the governors and mayors are those who can look at these themes comprehensively and tackle them. And for that, I am really glad that UN is putting much more emphasis on the importance and voice of cities. So thank you very much, and I would like to ask all of you to join me in thanking the wonderful presentators for today, and with a round of applause. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, everyone, and all the speakers. We would now like to take a commemorative photo with everyone on the stage. May I please kindly ask the speakers to step forward and line up in the middle of the stage, please. We will now take time to take a commemorative photo for this session. Thank you very much, everyone. That concludes our photo shooting. Now please give a round of applause to everyone who took the stage. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, everyone.